Lego is one of the best childhood toys of all time, but you can use it to make a bunch of other ones. From a working fidget spinner to a custom-made fingerboard and even official Lego products that look like Beyblades. There are a million of them. So today, I'll be showing you 20 popular childhood toys in Lego, starting with a working Rubik's Cube. Now, when I say working, I don't just mean it looks like a Rubik's Cube. I mean you can actually scramble it, solve it, and use it exactly like a real Rubik's Cube. Multiple builders have made functional Lego versions over the years, but the most popular one by far is by a builder named Puzz Lego. His version got 10,000 supporters on Lego Ideas, which is honestly insane when you think about how hard it is to get that kind of support. But it's no surprise, because it had corner pieces, edge pieces, and center pieces that all rotated independently, just like the original. You can twist it horizontally and vertically, and it has functional corner cutting, which means you can slightly misalign a turn, and it'll still work. The fact that someone figured out how to make this dream a reality is incredible, but that's not the only fidget toy from the 2010s that's been remade out of Lego. Someone made a super accurate Lego fidget spinner, and yes, it absolutely spins. Now, if you remember fidget spinners, you know that the whole point was having weight distributed on the edges so it would spin smoothly and for a long time. That's what makes them so satisfying to use. So the builder ran into a problem. Lego pieces are light, and they're not designed to be weighted perfectly. So the builder had to use hot glue to attach weights to the edges, which gives it that weight so it can keep spinning. But other than those weights, everything else is pure Lego. You can flick it with your finger and watch it spin for a solid amount of time, which is honestly all anyone wanted from fidget spinners anyway. They were never about functionality, they were just about having something satisfying to spin. But if you liked fidget spinners, you probably also liked infinity cubes. You know, those cubes made of smaller cubes that infinitely fold in on themselves. They got really popular around the same time as fidget spinners because they're super satisfying to play with. Well, a builder named Master Builder Alec made a tutorial showing exactly how to build a functional Lego Infinity Cube. It works exactly like a regular one, folding and unfolding in that mesmerizing, satisfying pattern. The tricky part with building one out of Lego is getting the hinges right, so everything rotates smoothly without being too loose or too tight. But Alec figured it out, and the result is a fully functional Infinity Cube that you can fidget with for hours. Speaking of things that seem impossible to make out of Lego, someone actually built a functional yo-yo. Now, obviously, you can't make string out of plastic bricks, so the yo-yo uses regular string. But the actual yo-yo part, the two discs that spin and the axle connecting them, they're all Lego pieces. You can throw it down and it comes back up just like a real yo-yo. It's not as smooth or high-performing as an actual one, but the fact that it functions at all is pretty crazy. Another skill-gapped toy that's been recreated in Lego is the kendama. Now, if you've never seen a kendama, it's this Japanese toy that has a wooden handle with cups on it and a rod in the middle, and there's a ball connected to the handle by a string. You try to swing the ball and catch it in different cups or spike it on the top. Now, the Lego version is a lot more square and blocky instead of the traditional smooth, curvy design that real kendamas have. But here's the thing, it's fully functional and 100% Lego. The builder prioritized making it work over making it look accurate, which is definitely the better choice. He used Lego chain pieces for the string, which gives it flexibility and the right length. And then he used an official Lego branded rubber band to connect the chain to the ball to keep it from flying off when you're swinging it around. The builder's main goal was to keep everything 100% Lego, and he definitely accomplished it. But now let's talk about Nerf guns, because multiple people have built Lego versions. And I'm not just talking about Lego guns that look cool but don't do anything. These actually fire Nerf darts, just like real Nerf guns. Builders use rubber bands as the power source and spring-loaded mechanisms to launch the darts. Some of these builds are surprisingly powerful and accurate. You can load a Nerf dart, pull back the hammer, and fire it across an entire room. Some builders have even recreated specific Nerf models like the Maverick or the Recon, making them as accurate as possible while still being functional. My personal favorite is this custom one built by Astonishing Studios. He made an entire tutorial on how to build this thing, so if you want a Lego Nerf gun, definitely go check out that video. While we're on toy guns, let's talk about Super Soakers. There are two kinds of Lego Super Soakers out there, and they're both really cool in different ways. The first one is a fan-made recreation of the iconic Super Soaker 200, which was one of the most popular water guns in the 90s. Now, this version doesn't actually shoot water, but it has a working pump action mechanism that you can actually pump back and forth. The builder also used translucent green pieces from the Lego Ninja Turtles theme for the water reservoir, and there are studs inside to represent water. So you can load it up, pump it like you're pressurizing it, and pretend to shoot, even though nothing actually comes out. But here's the crazy part. LEGO actually sold real water guns in the early 2000s. These were official LEGO products that you could buy in stores, and they were part of the now retired Aqua Raiders theme. But let's move away from weapons and talk about something more wholesome, Mr. Potato Head. Multiple builders have made LEGO versions with swappable accessories just like the real toy, and some of them are incredibly detailed. You can give him different eyes, mouths, hats, mustaches, and accessories, and this version in particular lets you do all of these things. Some builds even include both Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, like this one, and they come with tons of different accessories, so you can style them however you want, while others are made as display pieces, like this one on Rebrickable. But the builder who made the one on LEGO Ideas really thought theirs through, because they even added a compartment on the back where you can store the extra accessories. That way you don't lose them, and everything stays organized. Another iconic toy from the past is the Etch-a-Sketch, and there are two different LEGO versions that serve different purposes. The first one looks really accurate to the original, with the red frame and the two white knobs on the bottom. It's got the classic Etch-a-Sketch aesthetic, and if you saw it on a shelf, you'd think it was a perfect recreation. But unfortunately, it's just a display piece. It doesn't actually work. However, the second version does, and it's way more impressive from an engineering standpoint. It uses an EV3 brick, which is LEGO's programmable robotics brain from the Mindstorms theme. The EV3 controls motors that are connected to the knobs, and when you turn them, they control the line you see on screen. Now, obviously, this thing looks nothing like a real Etch-a-Sketch, but the fact that it works makes it really sick. Now, this next toy is a little old, but did you know people even make music boxes out of LEGO? Unfortunately, these don't actually play music like real music boxes do, because you'd need actual musical components for that. But they do spin when you wind them up, which is already pretty difficult to make with LEGO. You turn the key on the bottom, and the mechanism inside rotates the top portion just like winding up a real music box. It's more about the aesthetic and experience than the sound, but it's still a really clever recreation. Along that same line, someone built a LEGO Jack-in-the-Box, but again, you can't actually wind it up and have everything pop out like a real one. I can't even imagine how hard that'd be to make out of LEGO. Instead, the build is designed to look like a Jack-in-the-Box that's already been wound up and sprung open, so it captures the moment right after the surprise happens. It's more of a display piece that shows the most iconic moment of a Jack-in-the-Box, which is still cool to see. But now it's time for one of the GOATs of childhood toys, Beyblades. Obviously, LEGO fans have made custom Beyblades that spin and battle each other, but here's what's really cool. LEGO actually made their own official version, and they're called Ninjago Spinners. These are basically LEGO's answer to Beyblades. You build them with different pieces and configurations, attach them to a LEGO launcher, rip them, and they battle just like actual Beyblades. The company who makes Beyblades does this really weird thing where they drop them in waves, so you can't just go and buy them all the time. But you can buy the Dragon Spinjutsu Battle Pack from LEGO right now, and it comes with 2 Ninjago minifigures, so I think the choice here is pretty obvious. Anyways, another popular battling toy from the early 2000s were Bakugan. If you remember Bakugan, they were these spheres that you'd roll across the floor, and when they hit a magnetic card, they'd automatically spring open and transform into a creature. The LEGO version doesn't have that automatic magnetic opening feature, because that would be nearly impossible to recreate with LEGO. But it can open and close manually, which means you can transform it yourself from a sphere into the creature. So it's still a functional recreation. You just have to do the transformation by hand instead of having it happen automatically. But some of the most impressive nostalgic toy recreations are board games. There's a builder named Jay Fields on Flickr who's made incredible, accurate, and functional versions of Rock'em Sock'em Robots, Connect 4, and Simon Says. And these aren't just display models that look cool. They're actually playable games. The Rock'em Sock'em Robots have working punching mechanisms, so you can actually press the buttons and make the robots punch each other. Connect 4 has slots where you can put the discs, and they stack properly just like the original game. And the Simon Says looks just like the classic electronic game with the colored buttons. Though there is an important distinction about Simon Says. If a LEGO version looks exactly like the original game, it's usually not functional. So unfortunately, this one from Jay Fields isn't. But people have made functional versions, and they're all over YouTube, only they look nothing like the original game. It's kind of like the kendama. If you want functionality, you're gonna have to give up looks. And if functionality is what you want, look no further than this working LEGO Bop It. Now, Bop It is way more complex than Simon Says, because you're not just pressing buttons, you're bopping, twisting, and pulling. The The Lego version has all the main Bop It functions built in, and the builder even coded it to give random commands, just like the real game. So it'll tell you to twist it, then bop it, then pull it, and you have to react quickly and do the right action. It doesn't look like an actual Bop It because of how it had to be built, but it works just like the real one, which is honestly one of the most impressive Lego recreations in this video. But not all nostalgic toys have to be handheld. Some of them are about capturing a moment or a memory, like this build of the iconic warehouse level from Tony Hawk Pro Skater. If you grew up playing those games, you know exactly which level this is. It's the very first level in the first game, and it's where everyone learned how to play. You'd skate around this warehouse, grinding rails, hitting ramps, and trying to find the secret tape. The Lego version recreates the layout with all the ramps, rails, quarter pipes, and obstacles in all the right places. You can use it as a display piece to remember those gaming sessions, or you can actually use it with fingerboards to recreate tricks. Speaking of fingerboards, there are actually 3 different kinds of Lego fingerboards, and they're all cool in their own way. The first one isn't technically pure Lego. Someone took a real fingerboard deck, then sanded down Lego base plates to make them thin and slightly flexible, and glued them onto the deck. So it looks like a Lego fingerboard because the grip tape is made from base plates, but it's still a regular fingerboard underneath. The second version is a makeshift fingerboard, built entirely from Lego pieces with no real fingerboard parts. It doesn't look like a traditional fingerboard because it's blocky and square, but it still works. However, there's a third thing that's different from both of those. Our goat Brick Science built an entire fingerboard park out of Lego, but not for Lego fingerboards, for regular fingerboards. So you're taking a tech deck or whatever brand you have and using it on Lego ramps, rails, and other obstacles. Now that I think about it though, there's no real reason you can't use a Lego fingerboard in this park. That'd be pretty cool. Anyways, there's one last category of nostalgic toys: remote control cars. People have built fully functional Lego RC cars using power functions or the newer powered up components. And these things actually drive. You can control them with a remote, race them around, and some builders even add suspension systems and steering mechanisms to make them handle better. I mean, they treat these things like real race cars. RC cars are the most recreated toy by far, whether it's by fans or Lego themselves. But because of how important they are, there's no way I could leave them out. But what was your favorite nostalgic toy recreated in Lego? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.